Well, hello again, everybody. It's still the 16th of what is this? Can't get these things to stay up. Anyway, it's still the 16th of February, 2025, and it's a little bit later. Maybe it's noon. I don't know. But I made a little video earlier, like 6 minutes, and luckily I was able to get it downloaded. Even though YouTube was kind of taking their time on that. That's one reason why I made it only 6 minutes long, so that I can do it. And somebody said make a longer video, so I'm doing that anyway. I was planning on doing it. A lot of news to put out, even though it's a weekend. Normally Sundays there's not that much to talk about, and I'm going right now with the sun in my eyes, so you don't get like some sort of a silhouetted view if I walk the other direction. I got off at Pierwsza metro stop. I call it like the the Matrix, because it's the only metro stop in Minsk that you get off on the right side. Every other place you get off on the left side, so it's kind of strange kind of a place. And then you can come out, and it's, you leave the metro and you can come right out onto a jogging path, for example, and it's very good. So look, we have a frozen river over here, if you can see it. Well, let me show it to you on this way. Some patches aren't frozen, and I'm going to be walking by this hotel. I did a video like just some days ago, and I was stopped by a soldier, and I was filming by some kind of a defense sensitive area, I guess, even though it wasn't military, he said. And actually I'm allowed to film there. I'm not allowed to go onto that and film there. I would not be allowed to do that, but I wasn't going to sit there and argue with the guy and all that. What's the point? I'm just walking around doing a friggin' video, so friggin' what? I can do this. You have American videos like that. But, the guy was nice and all that, so, well, okay. So, forget about that. Anyway, I'm going to show you the other side of it, and it's a Chinese of the area that I was at. So across the street from where the guy stopped me from filming, it's the day I did 2 videos. So at the end of the first video, which took longer to upload, so you guys can see that. And like I was even mentioning in that video, that I had been to the other side, which is by a different metro stop, and I'll show you that right now. I'm actually heading in that direction. So a lot of news. I already made that little short video today, and that was about Kaja Kallas. And one thing I left out is what she was saying is that she said we need to kill more women and Russian women and children. We need to kill more. It's very important to kill more Russian women and children. Shows how much they love humanity and themselves. Innocent people, in other words. You have to kill more innocent people. It starts to make you think, well, look at Ukraine. They had nothing against killing innocent people for those 8 years after the Minsk Accords were signed, where it said that they are going to be allowed to continue control over the Donbass as a part of Ukraine. And they didn't like that, so they kept bombing and killing those people, and I think they killed nearly 14,000. I think it was 13,000 altogether. And I shouldn't be laughing. It's nothing funny killing people, and and they're still bombing civilians. And now they're bombing civilians, which they have been doing anyway in other parts, the Kursk region and other regions of Russia. So anyway, Kaja Kallas, and these people in the EU, they're heavily pissed off that they're not invited to the peace talks. So, with an attitude like that, and she's, a foreign policy person of the European Union. With an attitude like that, do you think that they should be allowed in the peace talks? We have to kill more innocent Russians. So, what place does a person like that have in peace talks? None whatsoever. And actually, to be honest with you, that's part of the reason, that I'm going to be talking today is, what place does Ukraine even have in the peace talks when it is their goal to kill Russians? That has nothing to do with peace, killing people. And they're the ones that actually brought on this thing. And all of these Nazis, there's a huge amount of Nazis. There's people with Nazi attitudes. Lindsey Graham, it's the best money ever spent because we're killing Russians. And everybody says fascist, but that's not fascism. That's Nazism. Fascism is an economic system designed within socialism, and it's like as Mussolini, they call the founding father of fascism, who was not against any race of any people or any religion, things like that, at least that much about Mussolini. And but he said fascism is the marriage of corporate money to government power. And of course, Ukraine is also fascist. So they're fascist and they're Nazis, but they're two distinct different things. So just had to throw that in there. But, so, oh, there's two things I wanted to talk about that I just saw in the news just today, just this morning, right before, picking up this cell phone and going to be filming. And it was that, as you've been hearing, that I think Trump even said BRICS is dead because I told them that I'm going to put 100% tariffs on all of them if they continue, basically. And it's like, mostly I think at the beginning he was saying that they better not come up with a reserve currency, and then I'm going to put 100% tariffs. But, they announced, I guess just today, or was it yesterday? Anyway, just probably within the last 24 hours, about the new, I think it's going to be in Rio de Janeiro, the new BRICS conference. And I think it was going to be in July like 6th or 7th or something like that. So in other words, BRICS isn't dead. BRICS plans on meeting. And I think what they're going to be talking about is payment systems. It might have to do with, they're not planning on creating another currency. And I don't think that has ever been part of the goals of BRICS. Oh, I should stay off a bridge, a lot of cold air, when you get on bridges. That's what I have to do. I used to be a driving teacher. Things, and you got to be careful when you're driving over bridges because, the cold air from the bottom and all that, you're a lot more likely to hit some ice and go into skidding and get in an accident. So anyway, let me get off this bridge. It's the cold air blowing through here. And I just distracted myself. Or was that you guys? But in any way, this is going to be talking about payment systems, and there's a lot of things going on also. It's kind of like in this lead up to this meeting here that's going to be happening in Saudi Arabia between Trump and Putin. And Kellogg just now said as well, that was the other part I wanted to talk about before I was going to get into the things that I had planned on talking about. So Kellogg, who is Trump's envoy to Ukraine, Russia's supposed to be handling this sort of a deal, and I guess he was not part of the peace process, at least from what I've been hearing. I don't know if this is all true because now he's coming out in the news a lot more, but you didn't hear anything about it in the past days because they said his daughter was involved in some sort of a business that profited from parts of this Ukraine, and a lot of bloggers, I don't see how they would know this. I think maybe it was just a guess. I don't even know who said it, but they said, oh, it's because Russia demanded that Kellogg not be a part of this. I don't think so. And it's his daughter, it's not him. I don't think Russians really actually think that way, that because his daughter, that must mean that he is part of it as well. I have no idea. Kellogg doesn't seem like a guy that would allow that to influence his position, which is far more important than whatever the heck his daughter is doing anyway. So it's not like it's going to hurt her job, her position anyway. And he's not going to be there to try to further her goals or whatever she's doing. It's not like she's making huge sums of money off the blood of people. I don't think that had anything to do with it. I don't think that was the case. So forget about that. I didn't report on it because it didn't make any sense to me either. But so Kellogg, he had put out, and I don't know if it was today or if it was yesterday. I don't think it's today because it's too early for a lot of those places. So it would have had to have come out. It was only put in the news today in the Russian side over here, but it must have come out yesterday because he's probably in bed right now, Kellogg. But what it was about, it was something like he came out and admitted to some reporters that it is a strategy goal of the United States to split Russia away from the alliance with China and North Korea and Iran. I tell you what, I don't think they're going to be successful, but Trump, I don't think he's going to, I don't know. In light of all of this stuff exposing the U.S. aid and all that, I don't think he's going to do it in these sneaky ways that the United States has normally, been guilty of. They have people sneaking around and doing stuff and false flags and all that sort of thing. I'm starting to get the impression maybe that Trump is not going to be going for that kind of crap, And it's not that Trump is not against doing some really dastardly things, because he certainly is. He's certainly capable of doing really dastardly things that it should be, illegal in a lot of ways, but he doesn't seem to have a stomach for doing things directly that kills people. And you see, and I always have this problem, looking at what's going on in Gaza, and he supports Israel. And Israel, as you know, Netanyahu, this guy, he's worse than any vampire. I mean, if you want to, I mean, you're looking at these vampire movies and seeing these vampires that are thirsty for blood. Well, I'll tell you what, Netanyahu, he makes them all look like Girl Scouts. This guy, I tell you what, and if you want to look at real truth, real truth, and you want to really get down to it, even though I'm not allowed to talk about this, a lot of you guys out there know, people that watch my channel, that the truth is not really what was reported, not even in history books. I mean, think about the Holocaust, and it's like, well, what's in a name? You can call anything a Holocaust. And then somehow, even later on, the Ukrainians invented this word, the Holodomor, that Russia was starving Ukrainians on purpose, even though a lot of Russians in regions and things were dying in much bigger numbers all over in Russia from starvation. It was like a problem with, with pests and things like that, and crops and all that. But oh no, the Russians were doing it purposely, all this kind of crap. And it's like when you think about like Adolf Hitler, he was massacring people in these what do they call it, concentration camps and all that. And then you find out that's and I hate to tell this to you, who knows, maybe I get deleted for saying this, but you can look, there are official, real, undeniable documents, American documents written in English, that says that this is all fake stuff. And the Americans were even trying to fight against this disinformation for years after World War II, because it was all fake. And they even wrote it down, and they were even going to prosecute people for putting out fake information about this. And like I tell you, there are documents from this that it's all fake. And even I'm not even talking about the Red Cross records. When they talk about how many people died in these concentration camps, I think it was I think when they really pushed the number, I think it was like 200,000 or something. And it wasn't because of the reasons, and it wasn't done in the way that everybody is made to believe it is. So, and I'm not trying to make any excuses and say Hitler was a great guy, because he wasn't. He was an imperialist, and he was a supremacist. So I'm not saying that, but just a lot of this fake stuff. The winners write history. I don't know. Am I allowed to even say this stuff? And a lot of you guys might even unsubscribe a lot of people, because you're made to believe, and it's like, but I don't want people like that, necessarily to be on my channel that are so stupid and gullible that they believe everything that's told to them without even seeing any evidence. Oh, we're told that, so it must be true, and everybody says it, so it must be true. And I don't know. I would rather have even a small number, and there's not that many people that watch my videos, obviously, but I'd rather have people that are not stupid and watch, because it's just knowing that a lot of you out there are a lot more intelligent and don't fall for anything. What do they say? There's some expression. Some people that fall for something will fall for anything. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But anyways, just saying that. So let's get down to some real news here and find out what's happening. But like I said, I just put out those two pieces because that was just some fresh news about Kellogg. I don't know, there's probably a lot more stuff that I just haven't read yet, and it's really weird, a lot of such news coming out on Sundays. So anyway, Zelensky, he's really pissed off. The EU is really pissed off. Donald Trump has really pissed them all off because they're not invited to the PIS plan. Oh, no, wait, that was Zelensky's word, the piss plan. Remember, he had his, it's like, oh, how, this is totally unfair. I'm not invited to the piss plan. This is Ukraine. And it's sort of like Zelensky's piss. Well, that's where you get that word, the piss plan. And that was Zelensky's plan, his piss plan. He had a piss plan, and part of his piss plan, it had nothing to do with Russia. He invited everybody in the world, and so it's like, everybody, come on, let's all gang up on Russia, and let's say that we're going to cut Russia off, and that all of us are going to punish Russia until I get what I want. And what does he want? I want all of the former territory of Ukraine. Later on, I'm going to go for Russia, get some of those territories, and actually he was going to do that too, believe it or not. But I want hundreds of billions of dollars from Russia. I want Putin to be going to the International Criminal Court, and I want this and I want that. I mean, all this sort of stuff. And notwithstanding the fact that they're the ones that actually caused the war. Oh, forget the fact that they killed like nearly 14,000 Donbass people because they refused to ban their own language that they've been speaking for maybe 2,000 years, and all of a sudden they have to start speaking Ukrainian, as if they can't end up speaking 3 languages in Switzerland, but no, in Ukraine, because the Russians are the species, the inferior species, and we, the Ukrainians, are the master race. We built the pyramids of Egypt, by the way. They think they have. They said Jesus was a Ukrainian. Santa Claus maybe have been a Ukrainian, and the Easter Bunny, and what else? On and on. But they say, and as a matter of fact, they dug the Black Sea, the ancient Ukrainians, even though Ukraine was never on the Black Sea throughout all of history until who was it? Khrushchev gave Crimea to the Ukrainians in 1954, but no. But the Ukrainians, they dug the Black Sea with their bare hands, It makes you wonder. There must have been hundreds and hundreds of millions of Ukrainians. Well, what happened to them? That would take a lot for the ancient Ukrainians to dig the Black Sea out by bare hands. Come on, I mean, should I even... is that even worth commenting on? So let's keep going here. The piss plan. So everybody was invited to his piss plan, but now it's only supposed to be the United States and Russia. Well, and I think it was Kellogg that put out that other people that says, the European Union has absolutely zero to do with a peace plan, in which they do. They have zero to do with a peace plan between Ukraine and Russia. And you would think, oh, this has to be between Ukraine and Russia. But it doesn't, because I think the United States even knows, Trump knows, like he said, this war would have never started if he was the president. It's a complete and utter stupidity to have this. It was actually a provocation. They were thinking, well, we'll steal the Ukraine now. We stole all those other former Soviet Union countries and put our puppet dictator leaders there. So now we can do this with the region of Ukraine. And of course, they staged a coup d'etat. Oh, you're not supposed to know that. You're not supposed to know that these Nazis were paid and putting snipers on the tops of the buildings and shooting and killing people to cause stability. If you read some of these books, like in these training books from Delta Force, not that I have read them or something like that, or Navy SEALs and stuff, that's the best way, they say, to overthrow governments and things, to cause instability, is you just put a sniper and have them start picking people off all over the place. That causes stability like you would never believe. And then they can easily start people get all pissed off and people flip out, and then you can get in there and help the situation. Have your people, have your puppets. Anyway, don't talk about this. So anyway, Zelensky's crying and saying it's unfair. It's unfair. In a real world, maybe it would be unfair, but not in this world. Considering what Ukraine's all about. And his piss plan was not fair either, So, and think about one thing. So what, if Zelensky thinks that these people, and that Russia stole these Donbass regions from Ukraine, so what gave Ukraine the right to bomb and kill their own people? I mean, if you think about all these wars, and how the United States goes into these wars. If you think about Kosovo, oh, it was Milosevic. He was punishing the Kosovo Albanians, and he was terrorizing them and killing them and all that stuff. Which, of course, that wasn't true. None of this stuff is actually true. So that was one. It was the Kosovo Albanians. Oh, Assad is gassing his own people. Saddam Hussein gassing their own people. Oh, look at the Taliban. They're making women run around in socks with little 2 eye holes in it. They're doing this to their people. Don't look at Saudi Arabia chopping off heads and stuff like that. But anyway, and Saddam Hussein. I mean, all the things that they accuse these people. Assad gassing his people. That was the big one for me too. And even World War I. Part of the propaganda for World War I, believe it or not, was that Germans were raping nuns. A lot of you don't know that, but that was a big one. That was a big one to get people pissed off, that the Germans were raping nuns, and probably a lot of other things too. And nothing about incubators throwing babies at it. Oh no, that was the. And that turned out not to be true. I mean, let's go on and on. They need a casus belli for a war, and it's really strange that nothing was ever mentioned about the Ukrainians bombing and killing those people in the Donbass to the tune of, like I said, nearly 14,000 people. Oh, we don't see that. Pay no attention to those facts behind the curtain. I mean, jeez. I mean, can you see how they fluff the information in all these different directions to make you take a certain side and say, oh, the Russians are bad, and I'll just like that video I did earlier. Oh, they make you think, oh, it's okay. We have to kill Russians. They're species. They're not even humans. Look at how they think and look at what they do. I mean, this is incredible. Incredible. All of these little things, and they all add up, and you hear it on all the news stations. You hear it from all these people. They can't all be lying to us, so it must have some truth in it. It must be true. So therefore you believe it. It's just like those evil, evil people, the Hezbollah or the Houthis or all that sort of stuff. It's really strange that when the Houthis, when they were shooting at these ships, and they damaged these like cargo ships and military ships, that nobody ever was killed. They never killed any of them. None of these people were killed. None of them on the cargo ships. No military people. The Houthis did not kill anybody. I don't even know if anybody died if they bombed anywhere in Israel. And that probably includes the Hezbollah. No innocent people. But yet they're evil and they're terrorists. And then if you know the truth about what was going on this thing when, what is it called, October 7th sort of a deal, and then you find out who actually killed those Israelis, and you have to look up Max Blumenthal, and he talked to many, many, many witnesses that were there, and they were some of the civilians, they were the innocent people, and then Israel puts a big penalty fine on all these hostages that were released by, not Hezbollah, Hamas. And if they spoke to the press, they have this fine, I don't know what it was, $10,000 worth. So they're not allowed to talk to the press about how the Hamas had treated them. But some of that came out. That's why there was a fine, because it came out, and some of them said they were not mistreated. They were handled very properly. And strange, there were some even really nice-looking, beautiful women, and none of them were raped, and none of them said they were raped. But yet they were raping and killing all those people on October 7th. Makes you wonder who the real terrorists are. Who are the ones that are lying to us? But I don't know. Am I allowed to put these videos up? A lot of you that like these videos, and that's probably why these videos don't get disseminated any further than a few of my subscribers and things, because a lot of this stuff is not allowed to be put out. Some people can put these things out, but maybe I'm saying this in a believable way, and that's why I get suppressed. I'm just guessing. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Okay, and as we noticed, this U.S. AIDS scandal, a lot of this stuff coming out, I have to thank Donald Trump and Elon Musk, because this is going far beyond anything that anybody believed. I mean, it's going beyond anything that I believed or anything that I knew, like I said. And I guess in the last day or so, it's been put out that they're now attacking the NED, but I thought NED was also a part of. But they're all tied together anyway. But it's another organization used to overthrow, to do regime changes and to disturb people's minds and all that. And like I said, they're really successful even here in Belarus, which is incredibly beyond my imagination. To think that it's better in the West than it is in Belarus. And it's like, oh, we don't see that there's drug addicts and that people are living in tents because they don't have a roof over their head. We don't see that in the West. No. We don't see that people are struggling to pay their rent. We don't see that in Canada people are worried. They're really worried. They don't know if they're going to have a roof over their head at all next year. And I've already mentioned, like in a video or two, I worked 5 months, friggin' 5 months in Belarus. 5 months is all, and I get retirement where things are cheaper, where it's cheaper to buy food and all that sort of thing. And I get like what's equivalent to $60 a month. I worked 5 friggin' months is all. And in the United States, I worked altogether, it might even be up to 14 years, I'm not sure, but I was thinking maybe 12 years. And in another year and a half, I will get $50. That's going to be my total retirement. So it's like, what the friggin' crap is going on here? I didn't even hardly work, didn't do anything here, but yet I get $60 a month. And in the United States, I served in the military for 7 years, and they're going to give me $50 friggin' dollars, Jeez, And you tell me, who cares more about people? Is it the government over there in the United States, or is it the government here? I'm not even a Belarusian. I'm not even Russian. And how is it that I can get $60 a month for basically doing nothing at all? Just saying. Sorry to tell the truth. Maybe I'll get this video banned or something. So anyway, okay. What else? Yeah. I already talked about a lot of this stuff. I get carried away sometimes. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I was going to mention a little bit about this Bandera. I always mention this Bandera thing as well. You're looking at what they did in Poland and all that. We're all. And I'm looking at the attitude like Kaja Kallas and a lot of these leaders and all that. Look at Annalena Baerbock. I think she just came out recently, and it was really strange because she was talking about the real enemy is Russia, and I don't know, these people, they don't seem to ever have any proof or any evidence as to why is that. And it's like they hate Lukashenko here, and and they're like really frothing at the mouth to overthrow, to kill Lukashenko and his family, And I'm starting to, well, a lot of us are always wondering, well, what did Lukashenko ever do to any of these bordering countries like Poland and all that? Well, the immigration thing, well, that didn't start until they started going after him. As a matter of fact, going after Belarus. And long before that, they cut off the train. You cannot travel by train between Europe and Belarus. They cut it off. It's not allowed. You cannot go. Maybe you can send like freight and stuff, but that used to be the main way that people not transported, that people traveled between Belarus and Western Europe. I came here solely going by train, and between the two countries. Germany, I would go, and then you go through Poland, and now they're looking out the window and say, gosh, Poland looks like crap, And Belarus wasn't that impressive back in those days either, really. But that was in about 2000 and 2001. But anyway, if you had to, I noticed a lot of people, they come by bus or if they went by train or anything like that, and if you have to stop in Poland, like in Warsaw, I tell you what, you get mistreated very badly at the train station. The police will come by and start kicking you and things like that. If you're sitting there resting, waiting for the next morning train or whatever. And I've heard from a lot of people like that. and they hate, especially if you have brown skin and things like that. I mean, it's like, what the heck? Some people will say, oh, that's not true. But I tell you what, I've just heard it from way too many people. Going to school, learning Russian, and I talk to a lot of foreign people, and they're telling me about this stuff. And the cold air. And where's my voice, people? And even people left messages on my... no, I'm not RFK Jr., but my voice is gone. They left messages on my on my channel, and they were telling me about things that happened, like either to them or to other people that they know of in Poland, as being foreigners coming through there. Bear with me for a minute here. So I was going to say something also. I said yesterday I was talking about BlackRock and Larry Fink, and I don't know if you guys caught that. It was these people, they want population reduction, and they want the war to keep going. And that's even like Kaya Kallas maybe says, well, we need to kill more people, we need to kill more Russians. The goal is, of course, is to kill Slavic peoples. The useless eaters. Well, we're useless eaters too, anybody, but they're the inferior useless eaters because they're Slavic peoples. And Fink was saying we have to get more aggressive in population reduction. In other words, find ways, get more sicknesses going, and then when the sicknesses doesn't kill enough people, like what happened in the last one, then we have to invent some kind of a medication that actually kills off more people than what the sickness did. And the sickness maybe only killed off some at the beginning. It was actually a masterful thing. Masterful thing what they did with that sickness. But I don't know. I don't want to get into that because I'll get deleted like I have many times. So probably can't even talk about population reduction. And but the sickness is actually, I studied a lot about the 30 Years' War in Europe. That was a lot of, my topic. And the 30 Years' War, was a lot of it was a religious war. And what you may not know, even though they say like Europe lost more people in that war than they did in World War I or World War II and all. And of course, obviously, it went 30 years. But I guess most of the people that died from sicknesses, the plagues and things like that were happening at that time. So that's why these people that are for population reduction, I guess one of their favorite things would be the sicknesses. But war is another one, And they had a double whammy going at that time. They had the sicknesses and the war at the same time. I'm not saying that was that they had globalists back in those days or not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they probably should look at that and say, wow, hey, we got to do that, just like what they were doing there. And I mentioned, I think also yesterday, Olaf Scholz is freaking out. Oh no, we got to keep sending money and everything to Ukraine, because Russia's going to come and attack Germany if we don't do that. So it makes you wonder what happened to these guys' brains. I don't know if maybe it was that injection in the arm or something that made their brains go bad. Some people are saying that that's true. I don't really know. So let's keep going here. Some of these things I talked about, a lot of it maybe it's not that important. A lot of philosophical kind of stuff. But Zelensky, Macron actually. Anyway, Zelensky, Macron, they're all the same anyhow. But Zelensky, he wants to have this peace talk between the United States, the EU, Ukraine, and then 3 against 1 against Russia. Obviously that's the whole idea. And he wants the EU there because the EU, they see they're making a huge amount of money, a lot of money with this war. I mean, I'm not talking about the countries themselves. I'm talking about the political donors, and all these investors, they're making a lot of money. That's just like the United States. There's military industrial complexes in other countries as well. And, and they're making a lot of money. And, Europe wanted, of course, these minerals, as I mentioned, Olaf Scholz is really pissed off now because he wanted that. And Baerbock, she's the Greens party, said, well, we wanted that energy from Zaporozhye, damn it, anyway. So we shut down our power plants, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and, yeah. So they wanted to shove a strategic defeat onto Russia. Looks like Trump isn't going for that. I don't know, maybe it has to do with the thing. But I don't know. A lot of the stuff is the same stuff. I already put it out. Let me go to the other part. Emmanuel Macron. We don't know. Is he gay? Gay or is he bi? I have no idea. But anyway, he's the leader of France. And he has called an emergency meeting of the EU governments to talk about, the fact that they, kind of are snubbed when it comes to this peace plan. Not that was Zelensky's was the peace plan, but Trump is calling a peace plan. So the peace plan, they're getting snubbed, and I guess he's probably going to say, well, how do we enforce our great power onto Trump? And I think what they're going to do is they're going to probably get all of these European countries together, and they're going to undo their trousers and pull their thing down and try to compare their size with Donald Trump and see what the collective size of the penises of the leaders of Europe and compare it with Donald Trump's. He might bring Vance with him, I don't know. I tell you what, I think Macron, he's even going to bring Brigitte, his wife. Maybe she can add to the extra inches or something like that to see who's got a bigger one. And then see whoever's got the biggest one, they get their way. And they're going to impose their will upon Russia, I guess. And what if Putin whips his out? No, let's not talk about that. This is a G-rated channel, so you guys stop talking about this. Maybe some Christians watching this. So, I don't know, Brigitte, makes you really wonder. Maybe that's what he likes about her. But, the United States has also now, lately, I don't even know why, but they've been asking the collective countries of the European Union, not about what they have in their trousers, but they've been asking how big their militaries are. And I think what this is supposedly about, and I don't know if it is or not, but it's supposedly about how many people they can field for a peacekeeping force, not peacekeeping, a peacekeeping force on the border of the new Russia and Ukraine, maybe. Or maybe they're just looking at what are the different possibilities. There's another thing I should mention is the United States, apparently they sent a plane, some kind of a plane, to Belarus, the U.S. government. Apparently, and I think it was landed yesterday or the day before, to somehow maybe have some consultations with Belarus. So this is pretty good. It looks like they're, if this is the Trump administration, they're trying to get a good, thorough collection of information before they make some sort of a proposal maybe to Russia or whatever, until this meeting is supposed to take place in Saudi Arabia, where Zelensky says, I'm not invited, they haven't even told me about it. But anyway, they I think it was Ruti and maybe some others, and they said that it would be difficult for Europe to field 40,000 soldiers. And Zelensky is saying he needs 200,000. That doesn't sound like a peacekeeping force to me. That sounds like an invading army if you want to think about it. 200,000 soldiers for a peacekeeping force. And I think Zelensky, apparently, Ukraine, I guess altogether, I don't know where they're all stationed. Maybe there's some near Transnistria, just in case Russia, they have some troops in Transnistria in case they come over. And of course they have 15,000, at least that's what Belarus says, 15,000 troops on the border between Belarus and Ukraine. So how many is he going to field? And apparently, I don't know, I think Zelensky says that they still maintain a 1 million man army, military. I don't know if he said military or army. I don't know if they have any, like Air Force, they don't have much of that there, maybe not much of a Navy either, so must be army altogether, whatever. And Russia, they increased theirs, and I believe they wanted to have a 1 million man military towards the beginning of this military operation, but I believe a lot of people volunteered, and I think Russia has almost 1.5 million man military. So that is quite big, and of course it's a huge country, and it's spread out all over the country. They have them in the east and all that as well. So so if you think about it, and Ukraine has all that, it would be like it's a lot, but like I said, 200,000 at the beginning. I think Russia maybe only had at least in the Donbass area, I think it was maybe it was 200,000, and Belarus, if they have to join in, which they haven't been, there's 60,000. And Poland, who knows how many Poland has, Poland, I guess for the past years they've been saying how much they want to have a huge expanded military, and I believe towards the beginning I think they had 60 or 70,000, and I haven't heard that they have that much. A lot of people resigned from the Polish military, maybe because they're sensing that they will also maybe end up as cannon fodder against the Russians, and maybe their brainwashing didn't work as good on their own people as it was against the Belarusian people, because a lot of the centers of the brainwashing against Belarus is based in Poland. And of course I've heard that from different sources, and a lot of people never talk about that over here anyway. Belarusians, and I might get in trouble for saying this kind of stuff, but a lot of the people, they don't even realize how badly brainwashed they are, and it's like, here they have this great government, and look at, life in Belarus, it's great, and foreigners realize that when they come here, I mean, like I said, I met an American from California on the metro, and I only talked to him for 1 minute, and he's living here too, and he agrees with everything I said. I mean, it's like I don't even have to talk with him for more than a minute, and I know that he knows everything, and he thinks identical to what I do. And he said the Belarusians need to get out more, which means you need to go to these European countries and then maybe to the United States, and then to find out how actually lucky you have it. And the leader of Belarus, he even says to his own people that are not happy with being in Belarus, he said, well, then leave, go ahead and go, and then you'll come back, and of course they do. And there's one guy, I know a guy that he doesn't like the government that much here either, but he has somebody that he knows that left, and he went to the United States because he loves the United States so badly. He made good money in Belarus, believe it or not, which is not really that easy, but he made good money. He went to the United States. He lost all his friggin' money, and he barely could come back here, so he came back here and made money again, and then he went back to the United States. As far as I know, he's broke again. So, and the only thing that really, to a large extent, is any reason why you might want to leave here is because a lot of the time the pay is not really that good, even though it's going up and up, at a good rate. But you can't just. And it's like, how can the government do that anyway? They can't. They don't pay all the private sector jobs or nothing, but they're trying to make sure that people get more pay here, and it's a long process actually. And like I said, if you understand any kind of economics, you just can't really do that. But pensions actually have gone up. That's why I get $60 rather than $50 what I'd get in the United States. So don't tell the government that. They might cut it, cut it a little bit. I don't know. But It's not a lot of money anyway, but anyhow, but that guy was making decent money here, and then he goes over there, and I don't know. I've talked a lot about how good it is to actually live here, but I wish they would turn the heat up a little bit out here. That's about it. And I don't know, do I have any other information I was going to be putting out? I talked about Macron and his wife, and you know, everybody seems to think that she's got a little secret. So everybody was saying that about Obama's wife, but I don't know about that. So I talked about the truth, or the troops, not the truth. No, the truth too. Well, I already said it as well. I was going to say that it's like, to me, in my opinion, that I don't think Ukraine even needs to be in the peace talks, because they're totally... Zelensky, I don't know, he's been sniffing some stuff too bad, I think, you know, and his nose and its brain are not really working quite right. If you guys saw this recent video of him, it's like, what the heck was he on? You know, how he was acting, and of course he's always rubbing his nose, and so I wonder why he's doing that all the time. Anyhow, and sniffing. But that's about all I have to say for right now, because it's not an hour of video, so I don't know how many hours YouTube is going to take to upload this one. It might even take 6 or 8 hours. I don't know. And a lot of time, like I said, they stop it, and then I gotta delete the whole thing and start over again, because it says uploading, and it'll go for 5 days. It'll say uploading, and it won't be uploading. You know, they love me at YouTube, you know. But anyhow, that's all I have to say for right now. And if you guys can, spread the video to other people and all that. I'm not monetized. I don't get any money for that. And I'm kind of even thinking, I think it was the video I did yesterday, no comments. I don't know, because I think YouTube maybe even shuts off comments or doesn't let people comment. I don't know, maybe they're looking at me again, you know, because they like me so much. But anyway, thanks for joining, and I don't know when I'm going to make the next one. It's real cold out here. I think it's like -14, so that's why I couldn't talk a minute ago. I was doing a little bit of a Robert Kennedy Jr. But I'll see you on the next one. Thanks again. Bye-bye, everybody.